Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's hiding out from the calamity, from the pandemic. And make sure you have enough food and water, everything you need. And see if everybody can survive. Yeah, I'm going to shut this off here because I probably don't have the bandwidth for this. Uh, so, the topic today is about the article that Johnny Miller was talking about, and which was recent studies of Neanderthal DNA. He had mentioned that it was Y chromosome, mtDNA, everything, but it turns out I think it was just the mtDNA, which is the maternal line of the Neanderthal, which I was wondering about too, is just how much study they had of both the Y chromosome and the maternal mtDNA. And they had previously determined that the Y chromosome of Neanderthals is extinct in today's modern human population. So, with this article, you can check it out for yourself. It's dated March 9th, 2020, I think, and it's a study about the mitochondrial DNA that they were able to identify using some kind of atomic spectrolysis or method or whatever. And it seems to be pretty accurate. They seem to be uh, fairly convinced that it's authentic. But what they determined in the article was that the separation from Neanderthals is farther back than what they thought. In other words, by way of because we are connected to Neanderthals, but by way of the mitochondrial DNA, they were able to determine that the separation from Neanderthals was farther back in history than what they realized. And we as creationists know that that history only goes back 6,000 years. So what that basically proves is that the separation that we have from Neanderthals was from before the global flood. So it pretty much determines that people, Neanderthals are people that died in the global flood, by the global flood, which is something that I had always wondered whether or not Neanderthals were people from before the global flood, because their features are a lot different than ours because of their age, for one thing. Oh, hello, Jesus is Lord. Hello, Red Fang. So their features of the Neanderthals are strikingly different from ours, and probably two things, two reasons is there were people that lived before the global flood and they lived longer than what we live today. Hello, this one guy. The Canaanites might be the ones. Canaanites might be the ones that went to Tibet and Japan. Not sure, but one of the Hamites that were living in Canaan ended up in Tibet and Japan. At least the paternal line of the Y chromosome. So, so to me, that study that Johnny Miller was talking about definitively proves to me that the separation that we have from Neanderthals was from before the global flood. Seed of Cain were of Nephilim. Not all the seed. The seed of Cain Well, yeah, Cain. Not Cain. Cain is from before the flood. But Canaan, when they say cursed is Canaan, uh, he wasn't the only Hamite. There was other Hamites, and some of the sons of Seth fell from Holy Mountain. The sons of Seth would be the sons of God, and some of the sons of God apparently intermarried with the the people that were ultimately died in the global flood, in their descendants too. There was never a global flood. No, that's the history that we have. We have a known history of the global flood, which destroyed the creation of God, which is the world that we live in, a destroyed world, and the sediment layers that we live on top of are the sediment layers from before that were deposited by the global flood, destroying the world that was before the global flood. Lord says many things. This is why, for the flood happened, they couldn't go back to the holy mountain. The Garden of Eden, they couldn't go back to the Garden of Eden because of their sin. Adam and Eve sinned. Oh, Ronan's here too. That makes sense. Cain did come back to Eden with a wife, and she was Neanderthal. But we're not descended from Cain. We're not descended from Abel. We're descended from Seth. And so the people that lived before the global flood, were died in the global flood, have an ancestry that separated from us way back in time, before civilization, which is before the global flood. Eden is like Olympus on a holy monument. Monument. You're God, and I'm asking a friend of yours. There was never a global flood. There was never only two people on this planet. Well, we had to come from two people, and that's what the evidence shows. DNA evidence proves that we came from a common ancestor. And common, living organisms don't make themselves. They can't order themselves, and they can't prove themselves into existence, and they can't write instruction that's not there. Mount this significant holy tower. Yeah, all the high places and worships were on high places, trying to reach the stars, I guess. So, but anyways, this study of the mtDNA which is what the recent study that Johnny Miller was talking about, proves that the separation from Neanderthals from modern humans was way back in time, which we know to be before the global flood. And they said the only thing that is a discrepancy is the timeline, which I thought very interesting, because we would agree with that, is that the timeline of hundreds of thousands of years is incorrect. And they said that's the only thing that's up for discussion. The fact that we separated from Neanderthals, the genetic distance that we have from Neanderthals way back in time is farther back in time than what they thought. So the tree of genetic distance wins out again, and proves that the separation of humans from Neanderthals was way back in time, which was before civilization. We're talking about prehistory. You're talking about pre-civilization. You're talking about before the global flood, which was not necessarily pre-civilization, but it's pre-modern civilization that we know of. That's 5,000 years and less. So the civilization that we know of, that we call history or civilization, is the history of mankind since the global flood. Prehistory is before the global flood. So Neanderthals are prehistory. They separated from us before the global flood, and they also died in the by the global flood, which is something I had speculated since I was a child. Since I was a child, I always wondered whether or not Neanderthals were the people that died in the global flood, and it turns out mitochondrial DNA proves that yes, they did separate from humans, modern humans, way back in time, way back before history, farther back in time than what they realized, which to me translates to be before the global flood. So it's more confirmation of the same thing. Ronan wants to know, why am I repeating information provided by me that proved me wrong? Um, no, I'm just reinterpreting the information in light of the facts that we know of a history being going back 6,000 years of a known history, known human history, and the fact that we know that the Neanderthals didn't survive the global flood, and mitochondrial DNA just substantiated that to me, as far as I'm concerned, because our history only goes back 6,000 years. It doesn't go back hundreds of thousands of years, because there's no history for that. You know, we didn't climb down out of the tree 6,000 years ago and start writing. You know, and you can't make up history or stories that aren't there, and you can't make up dates that you have no historical evidence of. And like Ronan says, we can't go by speculation. Can't go by speculation. You have to go by what the evidence is. And the evidence is of a known history going back to the time of Noah. Everybody living today has a common ancestor, Noah. The Y chromosome proves that our common ancestor, by way of genetic distance, is Noah. So we are connected to each other by way of Noah. And the tree branches prove it. So if you're in a letter of the alphabet A through R in a Y chromosome, that means you are on a branch of the tree that is different from the other branches of the tree. And there are larger, I mean, the trees are in fact three sons of Noah, because the three sons of Noah, the descendants of the three sons of Noah, according to the Y chromosome, are on the same tree, and they're connected to each other in the same tree. But in order to get to another son of Noah, you have to go all the way back to Noah to find a common ancestor by way of genetic distance. So, hey, Wildheart, how you doing? Um, so, in other words, if you're A, B, C, D, or E, you're on the Hamite tree. And the only way you can connect to somebody from the Shemite tree is going all the way back to Noah. That according to the genetic distance tree, of the Y chromosome, and both mtDNA is the same kind of thing. But if in the Y chromosome, if you're A, B, C, D, or E, you have to go all the way back to Noah to, to find a common ancestor in order to connect to the same tree, in order to connect to the tree from a Shemite or a Japhethite. And the same thing is true for the Shemites connecting to the Japhethites and the Hamites. They have to go back all the way back down the tree, all the way to Noah to find a common ancestor with them. So this is good. Yeah, I hope everybody's taking care. I hope everybody's hiding out from the pandemic. I hope everybody has enough food and medical supplies and everything so that you don't have to go out and get contaminated until they can find, they got to find a viral medicine for us, to fight the novel COVID, SARS COVID-2 is what it's called. Scientific name, not the World Health Organization name. I mean, the scientific name is SARS-CoV-2, not COVID-19. The World Health Organization label is COVID-19, but the scientific name is SARS-CoV-2. It's a SARS coronavirus. COVID is coronavirus. So it's SARS, it's a SARS virus, SARS coronavirus 2, because it's the second one. That's good. I'm glad to hear that, Wildheart. I'm glad to hear you're corona free. I am too, out in the woods. I'm isolating myself, doing my part for humanity, not spreading the virus to myself or my family or anybody else. But anyway, the Y chromosome proves that our common ancestor is Noah, because we know the history of the Semites and where they are. The Jays are Arabs and Jews. All the sons of Abraham are Jays, and there's no denying it. If you're an Arab or Jew descended from Abraham directly with a Y chromosome, you have a JY chromosome. And I'm an I, which is an offshoot from the same tree. So in order for the J and the I to connect to any A, B, C, D, or E, or the K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, Y chromosomes, we have to go all the way back to Noah to connect to them. So the Y chromosome proves that our common ancestor is Noah. And the recent study that Johnny Miller was talking about proves that the mtDNA shows that we separated from Neanderthals way back in time. In other words, prehistorical time, pre-civilization, or which is since or before the time of Noah. Actually, history is his story. No, history is his story, not high story. It's history is his story, which is the story of Jesus. That's history. And his story is the history of Adam and Eve, the descendants of Adam and Eve that survived the global flood through the line of Seth and Noah's family, which we are Noah's family, and the Neanderthals did make it according to the mtDNA study that just came out, because it's way back in time that we're connected to them. Probably, see, the mtDNA is by way of the mother, so it'd be mother to daughter, maternal ancestry going all the way back. We connected Neanderthals from before the global flood, probably by way of the wife of Japheth. In other words, the autosomal DNA that we have from Neanderthals, which is 1 to 4% in Europeans and Asians, is autosomal DNA. It's not Y chromosome and it's not mitochondrial. It's autosomal, which is a percentage of DNA that we share with Neanderthal, which is 1 to 4%. So, but this mtDNA study shows that the separation, the from the mother of Neanderthals and the mother of humans, that separation was way back in time. In other words, not in recent history. It's farther back in time than what they know, and we know that the history of the mtDNA goes back 6,000 years to Eve. So we separated from Neanderthals. The mother of Neanderthals and the mother of humans was way back before the global flood. According to the genetic distance study that they made, they said the amount of time is up for discussion, but the fact that they separated it from us a long time ago can't be disputed. Okay, quiet, Ronan. Object credit giver. What's Ronan saying? You appear to be stuck in neutral, repeating the same script. I'm repeating what the recent article was talking about. It's that the mtDNA separated from Neanderthals a long time ago. So that confirms the biblical account that the Neanderthals didn't survive the global flood, and that we have autosomal DNA that's shared with Neanderthals, of course, and the mtDNA, which proves we separated a long time ago. But the Y chromosome of Neanderthals is extinct, meaning that no one living today has a Y chromosome from Neanderthals. And the mtDNA genetic distance that we have shows that we separated from Neanderthals way back before the global flood. So that's good. Hello, Honesty Angel. Red Fang, there was never a global flood. No, the global flood is established. Civilization began after the global flood. People spread out, and the DNA studies prove it. The Y chromosome proves that the Hamites went to Africa and also to Asia and to the Americas. The Y chromosome proves that the descendants of Jacob, the descendants of Abraham, are the Jews and the Arabs, some of which went into Europe. That's what the Y chromosome proves. And the Y chromosome also proves that the Japhethites went north into Europe and Asia. And because the DNA doesn't lie, because everyone has a genetic distance from each other. And that genetic distance tree is what determines who you are descended from. And there's no change in who you are descended from. You're descended from either Ham, at least in the Y chromosome, Ham, Shem, or Japheth. Did anybody get the link or see the link? I put the link in there in case anybody wants to join. I don't know. Not that everybody is free to do so, but hope you're all well and staying healthy. You are reading it wrong. What am I reading wrong? It's a family tree. It's a genetic tree. Genetic distance. We can't change who we are, and we can't jump from one limb to another. We have to go all the way back down to the base of the tree in order to connect to each other, unless we're on the same tree. Here's Ronan. How do you say that, Ronan? Here's Ronan.
What do you mean? Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
No, you always say when you post, when you post for the first time, you say, "Here's Ronan."
No, I say it be it, man. Yippee!
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, because I can't hear any voice when you type, so I just wanted to hear what it sounded like.
Yippee! That's what it sounds like. Yeah, I'm happy to be
Okay.
here.
It be me. You say it be me, right?
It be it.
Oh, it be it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just a creative way of saying now is now. That's how I perceive things in the now. So I just use
Okay.
that as my tagline. Anyway, let's get to the point that you're making. Look, I agree. Just for the sake of this discussion, right? I agree with your assertion, right? The three sons of Noah, they went their separate ways, and we have humanity. Now, before that, what was the point of having it in the first place if we know that we're all humans? And the another thing is, there are people today that have Neanderthal DNA, and you said it was
Auto
extinct.
autosomal autosomal DNA.
What?
We share autosomal DNA with Neanderthals,
Well, yeah, but it's a small percentage of the gene pool, because it's more in Western cultures than it would be in Eastern cultures, for example. You know.
It's well, no, it has nothing to do with culture. It has to do with the the genetic the family
Oh
tree
no,
that
no,
you're in.
no. What I'm saying agrees with the model that you're presenting because of
Well,
because of the different bloodlines. One bloodline intermixed with DNA. So there's a percentage of people in the world today that have DNA from Neanderthal. It agrees.
which is
It
the
agrees.
Japathite, the Europeans
Oh,
and
okay.
Asians, the Japathites,
Okay, so the Europeans or the Jacob. Okay, fine. I don't know those terms, but
Asian.
however you label it, I agree that yes, there's certain bloodline called a haploid group, right, intermixed with Neanderthal.
Okay, so we also have to understand that the Japathites mixed in with Hamites and Semites too.
Okay,
So in Europe, they're mostly mixed in with Semites, and in Asia, the Japathites are mixed with the Hamites.
okay,
So that's what makes Asians what they are is the mixture of Japathites with Hamites and just plain Japathites, and then the Europeans in Western Europe are a mixture of Hamites, I mean Japathites with Semites.
okay,
Just
okay.
generally overall speaking, but the Neanderthal DNA that we share is from Japathites, from the
Okay,
Japathites who went north.
okay. Go on. What happens after that? What are you getting to?
Because both the Western Europeans and the Asians have DNA from Neanderthals.
Okay. Okay. Now, after that, what happens after that? I want you to keep going. I understand the basic model, your premise. I understand what you're saying.
You
Okay.
mean before that?
Okay. No, after that, not
Before that,
before
we're
that.
connected to
No, you're wrong.
Neanderthals. The mtDNA study that Johnny Miller was talking
No,
about.
well, yeah, but the thing is, you've explained that already. Now, from going forward from that, that's why I said, what happens after that? What are you trying to get to? What point in the horizon are you aiming for?
Well, the Noah's flood. That
Okay,
all goes
okay,
back.
okay, okay. I get it. But what happens after that?
Well,
The three
we just
sons,
know.
and then everybody diverged. Okay, now what happens after that?
Well, we just are who we are. We all went to our countries. Each country has a genetic makeup, and we are who we are.
Oh, okay, okay, and that, but okay, fine. We got the basic anthropology covered. Okay, so what of that? What are you trying to instill in us with your model?
No, what I'm saying is that the tree goes back to Noah and the global
Oh,
flood.
I agree, again. I agree with your model for the sake of this discussion. However, if it's the is what you're saying is just basically repeating the fundamental idea and
Well,
having that as your parade float.
it's
Uh,
to prove, yes, to prove that there was a global flood and that we're all joined, we're all connected to each other by
oh,
way of Noah.
again, I
By way of
agree.
Noah.
So
What's up,
hold
Big
on.
Bang? What's up? Go ahead, please.
What's up, bro? A famous Twitch streamer called Trainwreck TV did the DNA test and found out that he has Neanderthal DNA. How do you debunk that?
It's autosomal DNA. You know the difference
No,
between
it's Neanderthal DNA.
autosomal? Yeah, autosomal, Neanderthal
Ne-
autosomal DNA that we share, that Europeans and Asians share with Neanderthals.
yeah, so that kind of debunks your thing coming from Noah.
No, no,
How?
because we got the autosomal DNA through the wife of Japheth, who went north into Europe and Asia.
So the wife of Jacob was a Neanderthal.
The wife of Japheth was related to Neanderthals, and her empty DNA goes back and splits from Neanderthals way back before the global flood.
which
That's
we have which we have no proof of Neanderthal DNA, and I posted a link showing where we came from, that we came out of Africa, and it even gives you the times of when we came out.
no, the time is irrelevant. The
Actually, it is
time we have
irrelevant
to
because
go.
you're
No,
going
what
back 5,000 years. As we go farther, we go at least
the
100,000.
the only thing that's relevant is the genetic distance. The
Yes,
age, the
the
years is totally irrelevant. What's relevant
actually
is the
no,
genetic
it
distance.
is very relevant on when we came out of Africa and when you think the world started,
No, but we don't have a
because there's a
history coming
huge difference.
after.
Yes, we do. We have
No,
societies that are a lot older than
no,
6,000 years.
no. We don't.
You're
We
you're
don't have
you
a.
say
We
we
don't have
started
a history of
4,000
people
B.
coming from Africa. We don't have a history of people coming from Africa. Our history is from people coming from the cradle of civilization, which is Turkey and Babylon.
So you're saying all of mankind started 4,000 BC. We don't have any
Five
history beyond 4,000 BC.
5,000. No, not BC. 5,000 years ago
Yeah,
from
do the
Noah.
math. So we do 5,000 years. Okay, it's 2020. We go 5,000 years back. That brings us to 3,000 BC.
Right. Right.
Yes.
3,000 BC.
So what societies were around before that?
No, only before that is before the global flood.
Yes. And so we have tons of societies before the global flood ever happened that have
No,
no all of a sudden
no,
just wiped off.
no. All the societies are built on top of the sediment layers deposited by the global flood. There is no
No,
society.
there was no global flood, you moron. There was
No,
only
no, no,
no,
no,
there
no.
was no
Listen to me.
global flood. No, I'm not
No,
going to
listen to
listen to
me.
your stupidity
No,
because you
listen to
don't know what
me.
the hell you're talking about.
No,
There are
no. You have to
societies that
listen.
are older than 3,000 or
No,
5,000 years.
you have to listen to what I'm saying. Every civilization is built on top of the sediment layers deposited by the global flood.
And I'm telling you
every
that
civilization.
there are societies older than your supposed story.
They can't be older because they're all
Yes,
on
they
top of the
are. The
sediments
Egyptians
deposited.
are older than 5,000 years.
That's on top of the sediments deposited by the global flood. And besides, the founder
You
of
said,
Egypt is Noah's
you
grandson.
said,
The founder of
the global
Egypt is
flood happened
Mitzrayim.
5,000 years ago,
The
right?
founder of Egypt is Mitzrayim. He's Noah's grandson. His mother's name is
No, he's
Egyptus.
not.
His mother's name is Egyptus. You have to listen to what history says.
Yes, and I've looked up the history, and it shows the Egyptians are older than your global flood.
No.
Yes.
You do not know when Egypt was founded in relation to
Yes,
the
we
biblical
do. We
account.
do know when Egypt was founded. We do know when
No,
China was founded. I
no,
can tell you when the first emperor of China was, which
no.
was
You're
older than
going.
the global flood.
Listen. You're going by funny dating methods. You're going by
No, I'm
funny
not. I'm
dating
not going by
methods
any
that
fine
don't
dating methods. I'm going by
that
history.
disagree. Your funny dating methods disagree with known historical facts.
No, it doesn't, because there's no historical facts that says that we had a global flood 3,000 years ago.
We have to go by known historical facts. And Mitzrayim is the founder of Egypt along with his mother who's named Egyptus. They are the founders of Egypt, and they are he's a grandson of Noah. He's the son of Ham.
And I've already proven you wrong with this the last time we had this discussion.
Did not.
When I posted,
no, you did not, because you can't
yes, I did.
disprove known history.
Yes,
you cannot disprove known human history.
I'm not disproving I'm not proving history, because history is on my side, not yours.
And you can't disprove DNA evidence either, because the DNA evidence confirms it. That's what I'm saying.
I posted a link in the YouTube and in your private chat showing where we started. We started in Africa.
The Y chromosome and the
mtDNA stop with the Y chromosome stuff, because you don't know what you're talking about with the Y chromosome.
You don't want to hear what the evidence is, okay?
But yes, I've heard your evidence a dozen times. We've had this argument.
We have a common ancestor in Noah, and the Y chromosome proves it. It's genetic distance family trees that prove that we are connected to each other by way of Noah. Everyone living on Earth has a common ancestor of Noah, as proved by the Y chromosome DNA. And the mtDNA proves that we separated from Neanderthals before the global flood.
I agree with Red Fang. You're basing it on one document, if you will, the Bible.
No,
right? But could you be fair? Because I was listening to you.
It's known history.
I just want to make a short statement. Okay, just let me finish, please. Okay,
it's known history.
Your source. Okay, your source is one book. Okay, a Bible or a set of books. Okay, fine. That's one thing. But
as proved by Y chromosome.
Why are you talking over me? I want to finish my statement, please.
Because it's proved by Y chromosome.
Okay, that's what you're saying. Okay, but science, right? Science has.
I'm giving you science.
There is a consensus in science whereby different disciplines in the field of science agree, right, on the information and evidence shown.
And they have to agree with this evidence of the Y chromosome, prove that we're all related by way of Noah. They're all related to each other by Noah.
Again, you're using a single source, and you're right. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
However, the information
I'm using all sources. Don't lie, Ronan. Don't lie. I'm using calendars. Ronan, I'm not using a single source. Don't lie. I'm using calendars. I'm using Y chromosome mtDNA.
I just agreed. I just agreed with you.
I'm using
information.
archaeology. I'm using everything to
You're
confirm the biblical account that you say is the only source that I'm using. I'm
at,
using all the evidence to confirm the biblical narrative
look
story.
what you're doing historically, right, is commonplace in religion. Early religion thought they knew it
You
all.
are projecting, Ronan.
What? No, no,
You're projecting.
I'm trying to explain something to you. Science, right, overwhelmed religion. Early on,
No, it did not.
religion.
Science
Look,
always
people.
proves
Not
the
everybody was.
Bible.
Not everyone
And
was.
it's not religion. It has nothing to do with religion. It has to do with the historical account.
No, it's the historical account that you're presenting is based on a perspective from religion. Okay.
It's
And,
confirmed by
and
science. I'm showing you the science that
no,
confirms the
you're just
biblical
making
account.
you're making statements like you showed us those graphics, and they disagree with what you're saying. That's what Johnny Miller and I pointed out to you, and you're still saying no. I don't want to hear it, but you're the one providing the information. And I was trying to point out that the early church, they tried to prove that God was real, and they were the only ones that were educated or had money, besides the royals, right? And they sent out their so-called scientists, and they could not find evidence of a God. What they found, being scientists, is information that proved our Earth was older than the claim in the Bible, and it is not based on one source. Okay, multiple sources agree. There's a consensus.
Talk, talk,
But
talk, 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 talk,
no,
talk,
no, put
talk.
it this
Yeah,
way. Put
talk,
it this
talk,
way. I
talk.
would agree with you if you provided convincing evidence. Okay, that information is what I am lacking, and science will talk to you the same way. What is your evidence? And if you just keep making the same statement without backing it up, then
My
we
evidence
can't.
is science, Ronan. The science that I showed you. That's
The
my
science again,
evidence.
the science that you showed me disagreed with your statement.
No, it did not,
That's
Ronan. It
no,
confirms.
no, that's what
The
Johnny Miller and I.
science confirms the biblical narrative.
No, that's what Johnny Miller and I pointed out to you and kept
No,
repeating
you
to you.
did not, Ronan. No, you
Yes,
did
we
not.
did. Yes, we did. That's the point. That's the point I'm making because again, you're going back over the same talking points and proving nothing because, again, the science out there, right, has a perspective and you cannot prove it wrong.
No,
That's
no, you're
the point.
confusing. You're baiting and switching. You're saying people have a different opinion. That's what
That's
you're saying.
people. That's people.
Their opinion
No,
doesn't
no, that's
amount to
people.
a hill of beans.
People have different thoughts. Science is a specific method. It's specific, man. It is brutal. The way you approach it, man, it's brutal, man. And just making a statement
No,
does
it's not
not.
brutal. It's just the facts are what they
No,
are.
I'm
We are
saying
connected to Noah by way of the Y chromosome. All calendars, all historical records, all genealogies,
no.
all go back to Noah.
Again,
No, it doesn't.
no, it doesn't. You cannot prove it wrong. You can disagree with us. You can say we're wrong, but when you prove it to science, then you've got
No,
something.
no, no. You're baiting and switching again. You're saying
What do
I
you
have
mean,
to
bait and
prove.
switch?
You have to. You're saying I have to prove to people that have another opinion. No, I don't have to convince them of anything.
But
All I have to do
that's
is
what
use the evidence
that's
to
what
show, to back up the fact that we are all connected to each other by way of Noah, because that's where all the history
oh
goes back. All
no,
civilization goes back to Noah,
again.
and the Bible is the only record from before history.
Okay, fine.
Prehistory
Okay, fine.
is
That's not true at
is
all.
Then why isn't it?
prehistory is only found in the Bible and a couple other references like Enoch and the book of Jasher. Those are
Do you not realize
prehistorical records from before civilization. Before civilization is prehistory, which only the Bible, the book of Enoch, and the book of Jasher have.
Fine, but that's
the
not a.
Bible?
Go ahead. Go
The
ahead.
Bible, the Bible is not a history book. It's a whole bunch of stories
It
taken
is
from
a
religion.
history.
No,
Hey, this
it's
one
not
guy
because
wants to get in. This one guy
It
wants to
is
get
All the Bible is all
is
history. It's
stories
all history.
taken
someone
from
backstage.
older religions. Do you not
Someone
realize the
waiting
Noah
backstage.
story has been told by several other people? Other
It's
cultures have
history.
their Noah stories that are older than the Bible.
And
The
who
Bible
got
is not a
what from
history
who?
book.
How do you know who
Hey,
got what
hey
from
How
who?
do I
guys,
know?
someone's backstage.
Because the
Someone's
old
waiting backstage. Someone's waiting
the old
backstage. Somebody better talk to that guy because I don't know. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Greetings, all. How's everyone doing? You guys having fun arguing?
I'm
oh
laughing.
yes,
I'm laughing
it's
hysterically.
funny as hell.
It's like Red Fang.
Now,
Red Fang has a
We
question.
we only
Jungle Jugger,
have one history. We only have one history.
Jungle Jugger,
Well,
do you think it'd be better to say that we came from Seth and Cain? Because that's
no,
mostly the same thing if you
no.
think about it.
We didn't come from Cain. All the Cain and all the people from Cain died in the flood.
Not all,
Only
because some of the Nephilim survived the flood.
no, 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 no,
Yes,
no.
yes, yes.
No,
You can
that's
go
a
back
belief,
into scripture and
and
read that.
that's irrelevant to what we're talking about anyway.
It can't be because I'm trying to say there's a connection between genealogy and with that. And so if you're gonna tie it to anyone, you should tie it
No, but
underneath Adam still.
it's still five
And
thousand years of civilization
you can
and
find
six
scripture to
thousand
support
years.
your case
It's
for
still the
these
same
things.
5,000 years since from Noah and 6,000 years from creation. It's still the same thing.
Well, it would be 5,000 years, 5,500 years from the time of creation to the time of Christ, in complete total. And then afterwards, you add that from then till now. So, yeah. But yeah, in total, it'd be 5,500 years.
No, it's
You could
6,000
do the
over six
math.
thousand years. It's over 6,000 years. It's 1,656 years from the time of creation to the time of the flood.
Here, I'll
And,
post you this so you can see it.
and Noah and no, yeah, but that's a different thing you're looking at.
I'll post it. Oh gosh, that's small.
According to Usher's calculations, it's one 1,656 years from the time of the global flood to Noah. Actually, according to the Bible,
All right,
and
there you
then
go.
since then it's been since the flood, according to Usher, is 4,400 years.
Post it in the side chat as well.
No, but you're posting something else. That's not biblical.
Well, the math adds up. We can't argue that, and the significance between the double five
Well,
is very
they
significant.
made it.
Five
They
is
made
an
it
important
fit.
number to Judaism.
They made it fit.
Even people say some of the timeline's off.
Okay, I was trying to get
But then
my
again, I think that's only
backup here.
because it was of the oral tradition that was passed down. And things
Yeah,
change when it comes to stories, so you're gonna have different
but
variants
it's
of the
basically what
same
I'm trying to
story.
say. What I'm saying, this one guy, it's basically the same timeline. It's the same timeline anyway. I
Same
mean,
timeline, yeah. I mean, it
yeah,
really
because it's,
putting a number on time. It really doesn't matter. It really what matters is the sequence of events.
yeah,
Because
exactly.
it really doesn't even need a number to be put on it. It just matters if the sequence of
Exactly.
events are true.
That's what I was trying to say. What's important is the genetic distance, not the number of years. And because the genetic distance doesn't lie. We regardless of the number of years, we are where we are. We branched off from where we branched off, and you can't deny it. We're all connected to each other through Noah. Everyone living today is connected through Noah by way of the Y chromosome, and they just proved that by way of the mtDNA that we branched off from Neanderthals from way back before the global flood.
Okay, how many years ago was the global flood? Going, how you do the math? Tell me how many years ago that was.
About 4,500 years.
Okay, do you know that Hinduism has existed for 4,000 years, which means they were around at the time
No,
of no,
their calendar is 5,000 years
why are
old.
you interrupting me? I'm trying to make a simple statement
Hindu
for you to
calendars,
compare. But
the Hindu calendar is
so you don't
5,000.
so you don't want an ontological discussion included in this hangout because I want you to
The
compare
Hindu calendar,
ontological
the Hindu calendar is
ontological
5,000.
ontological compares concepts, okay? And the concept of Hinduism has existed for 4,000 years. And that means what you're saying that Noah happened and 4,000 years ago, for 4,500, whatever you want to call it, Hinduism existed. And the Bible says nothing about Hinduism, which
It
means
doesn't,
there
it
was
does,
there was civilizations
it
other
talks,
than what the Bible claims.
no, it talks about
No, no,
everybody's president accounted
could
for.
you address this, please?
Everybody's president.
I'm trying to expand.
I
The,
have addressed it, Ronan. You just
no,
don't listen.
no, you just talk over me. You're
I
not
No, you
was
don't
addressing.
listen because I
I was
have
gonna
addressed
say
it.
Could you
I
address
was
the point I just made, please?
Indians, Indians are Dravidians. Dravidians
I'm not
are
talking
Semites.
about what they are. I'm talking.
Dravidians have a Y chromosome of
No, no,
G,
no.
G
Yes,
or
fine,
H.
fine. I'll grant you that. I'll grant you that. But I want you to explain to me.
H.
I want you to explain to me how Hinduism could be in existence for 4,000 years, and Noah was 4,000 years. And if
They're
Noah,
Semitic.
and, in other words, that doesn't add up. That's the point I'm trying to make. And the
It's
whole thing is
Sumerians.
no,
Sumerians are Semitic.
no. Again, you have no information, right, to prove the established knowledge, the whole field of knowledge that encompasses this, right? You have nothing but a one corner, one little spot where you claim an
But
origin
the
of something,
Bible,
but
the Bible
ontologically,
addresses Sumerians.
ontologically, if you compare the concepts, that yours doesn't make sense. That's what I'm
Ronan,
pointing out to you.
listen, Ronan. The Bible addresses Sumerians. Abraham was a Sumerian from a Sumerian city
But
of
I'm
Ur.
talking about. I was trying to get you to compare the concept of Hinduism versus the Bible, and that's where the
Hindu,
math doesn't add up.
they,
Like Red Fang was
but
pointing out, civilization.
they are Sumerians.
No. The
They're-
civilizations existed before that. That's the point.
What do you mean before that? You can't have before
In other words, before Noah.
4,000, Ronan, 4,000 years is not before the biblical account. The biblical account goes back 6,000 years.
Again, I just asked you to compare how old the concept of Noah is, and you said 4,000 years, and Hinduism is 4,000 years. So it doesn't add up. That's the
Yes,
point
it
I'm trying
does
to make.
because they spread out 4,000 years ago, or
Okay,
actually 4,300 years ago. They spread
no,
out.
no, no, because again, if Noah started and Hinduism started at the same time, it is impossible for Noah to have had those children and Christianity gone forward. You
fun,
understand?
fun
The timelines don't add up
I was
historically.
I was gonna say
Uh,
fun fact. It's in some of the lore of I don't know what to call it. I guess Judaism. Some of the lore in Judaism states that when Adam and Eve were kicked outside the garden and they were in the cave of treasures or whatever, that the serpent was actually cast out to the Indian Sea. And it's funny because they do have like the thing I believe in Hindus with the snake people or something like along those lines. I might be confusing it with something else,
yeah,
but
yeah, but
it also
the
speaks
point
of like
being,
the host of Satan's and all that coming to tempt Adam and Eve in the time because Satan's trying to get him to transgress against God as often as he can because
but
he's
the
trying to
point,
kill Adam so no life would come and then they end up. Yeah, but yeah, I'll let you go ahead.
Well, no, I understand what you're saying, but
but
you're not providing a comparison by numbers
but
because
Ronan, the
this is
point,
No, the point of all of this is whether we agree to the timeline that Jungle Jargon is claiming happened.
Yeah, they
Versus,
were Noah's sons. They were Hindus are Noah's sons. That's the point. The
but
Hindu
no,
civilization are descendants of Noah.
the Hindus are descendants of Noah.
Yes,
Okay,
because
again,
we can.
no.
The
Okay,
Dravidians,
how do you reconcile the timelines then? Just because they were
Dravidian. Forget the timeline, Ronan. Go by the Y
well,
chromosome. Dravidians
well,
have a Y chromosome of I think G or H. The
Still a
H
lot of
Y
kids in a
chromosome.
short time to make their own
That
religion.
that is the Semitic tree. They are Semitic. They're Semites. They're Sumerian type people. That's what Hindus are. The Dravidians. That's what they are. And everybody else has a Y chromosome that's accounted for.
no, it
They're
wouldn't.
all
That doesn't make sense on the face of it because if Noah was a spiritual man, right, his sons were also spiritual. So if they went to the four winds wherever they went,
says
they would have
who?
carried those traditions with them. However,
Says who? They were all spiritists. They were all spiritists. They all had
well,
spiritual beliefs.
yes, yes. Okay, now
It doesn't mean that they had the
no, no,
truth.
no. It doesn't. It doesn't make sense that they would. One of them going to India would convert and say, there's hundreds of gods, hundreds of deities.
That's what you believe. That's what you believe. What you believe is not
No, no, I
absolute
don't believe
truth.
this. I am deducing this because it doesn't add up. That's what I
And the
want you to
Hindus didn't learn
reconcile.
about Christianity until at least like the sixth,
People,
7th century.
people go astray in one generation, Ronan. People go off from the truth
Did
in
you
one
hear what Red Fang?
generation.
Did you hear what Red Fang just said, please?
No, go ahead, Red Fang.
I said the Hindus didn't learn about Christianity until at least the 6th or 7th century.
That's irrelevant. That's
Well, what
irrelevant.
about Judaism? It would
They
be
had
Judaism at the time. That seems, yeah.
they had a
No, how
spirit
long did they
and
know Judaism? Or
well,
because
it was saying
Christianity wouldn't matter. Judaism would be the original thing. If we're going back to the oldest thing, Christianity didn't exist 5,000 years ago.
it was Saint Thomas of the Apostles that went to India. That's why all there's so many Indians named Thomas
And
because
when
of
did that
Saint
happen?
Thomas. After the death of Jesus, that's when Christianity spread around the world. Was after the death of Christianity when the apostles took the gospel around the world. But they were all spiritists. They all believed in spirits and things like that. But it doesn't
But
mean
when
that
but
they had absolute truth.
but when the Hindus know about Judaism before the Jews came,
Well, they lived off
if
it.
they if they're supposed to be the son of
But is that the best
Noah.
argument you can come up
No,
with? Is
no,
that they believed a different thing? They believed a different
it's
thing
pretty
because they
amazing how a
because
religion that is older as the same head somehow
because
has a
they
population big enough to have a religion.
because they went off in the corner of the world that they existed in,
Yeah, I
separated
mean,
from everyone else, and they believed whatever
given
they believed.
Did
given the
she
fact
That's your best argument. That's your
given the
best
did she
argument
give
that
a
you have.
birth to 100 kids at once?
I would say given to the
No,
fact of given to the fact of like with the Tower of Babel, that could also explain some things with the splitting of the
right,
languages,
because
but then
it
things
was
being
a
told
hundred
differently as
years.
well.
It was 100 years before people spread out because they were trying to build the Tower of Babel. It was after the Tower of Babel and after the splitting of the continents that people started splitting out
Like
because
I
they were
think if you
speaking
go
different.
if you delve into the lore more, there's definitely more answers that are given out that can give explanations. Like for instance, there's an instance of clan that Adam and Eve had 30 children, while they only actually had 5. And Cain had his twin sister, and then there's Abel with the twin sister, and then Cain went off with his twin sister and went to go like westwards, like I said,
I
outwards to Africa, and then their
I have
Canaanite
never
people.
heard of them having sisters.
No,
Of course, because a lot of people don't know.
No, he's talking about another.
That's just something
another-
that you're adding into it. If you're
It's
going
another
by
story.
Again, that's why I'm saying lore, because it was spoken, and then people finally wrote these things down, and then again the
But
churches
they-
would have batted over whatever it was actually scripture
But
or not,
they-
because things got passed down. So then
But
if
they all
wrote
died.
it down, then they just didn't include it.
The
in some
descendants
cases.
the descendants of Cain all died in the flood. The descendants of everybody
Except for
else
some Nephilim. It's Stephen
all
stated
died
there.
in the flood. No,
You can't ignore that
Nephilim-
fact.
no, Nephilim is just a definition of a giant with a person with 6 toes, 6 fingers.
If you want to believe that, by all means.
There's people
I-
living today
I
with
had-
6 toes and 6 fingers.
I had another Christian tell me that I'm a Nephilim because my arm spans bigger than my body by a couple
No.
inches.
No, a lot of people are that way. I'm that way too.
So you're a Nephilim to this
No.
one Christian. It's amazing how you Christians
No.
have different
No, that's
opinions on things that you guys can't agree on.
but how can you use that as an argument against
That seems
known
like
history,
individuality.
against the known history that we have? That's not an argument.
It's not known history.
It is known history.
You keep on saying known history, but we don't
Because
have
you
the
can't
facts that
make-
back up your story.
Because
I
you
like to use
can't
the term
make up
lore.
history. You can't make up history like what this one guy is trying to do with his extra biblical.
We have cultures that were around before the flood that are still around. We
No.
have written language
No, I
that
just
were
proved.
around.
I
No,
just proved they weren't around
that are
before
older
because they're
than the
built.
flood.
They're built on top of the sediment layers deposited by the
No,
global
'cause
flood, so they have
you
to be
don't know what you're
after.
talking about.
They have to be after the global flood. They can't be
No,
before.
they're not.
So you have to calibrate your
We
dating.
have written records
have-
of these cultures older than your
You have to
flood.
calibrate your dating to
No, we don't.
the
We
time
have
of the flood because they were after the flood because they're on top of the sediment layers by the global flood. So you have to calibrate your dating accordingly. You
Yes,
cannot
and
calibrate.
we have
date
scientifically
back to a
proven
time
that there
before.
was never a global
You cannot backdate your date to before the
flood.
global
Yes, I
flood.
can.
when
I
it-
can
when the
back it up with
civilization is
science
built-
and
The
history.
civilization is built on
Here's a
top of the
question
sediment
for you.
layer.
If there
It's
wasn't a
built-
global flood,
it's
why is there
built-
so much water on the earth?
It's built on top of the sediments deposited by the.
Hold
So
on,
it
hold on.
can't- It
Hold on,
can't
let
be
me-
from
oh my God.
before the global flood.
Oh my God. Let me answer this
It's
question.
not complicated. It's not complicated. All of known history goes back to the time of the flood. All calendars,
Mm.
all historical records,
All right,
all
you guys have fun. I gotta go.
genealogies, all
Sorry I didn't get to answer your
archaeological-
question.
All right,
You're
all right,
fine.
one guy.
I was saying
Hey, this
facetiously
this
anyway.
one guy. This one guy.
Hit me up on the Great Debate. I'll be on there later.
All right.
This one guy. When I was stepping on you the other time, I couldn't even hear you before, and I was stepping
Huh?
all over you.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. I'm eating food, and I don't want to get distracted from my eating. So I'll talk to you guys later.
Take care.
All
of
right.
This one guy.
All right. Yep. Take care, guys. Be safe.
Later.
Bye.
Yeah, so you have to calibrate your history with known historical facts, which is the time of the global flood. The
but-
time
but
of the
you-
global flood calibrates everything.
But we have scientifically proven that there was never a global flood.
No, you didn't.
Yes, we did.
No, you didn't.
I'm sorry
Because
about
their
your like
civilizations are
1%
built-
scientist that
Your
says
civilizations are built on top of the global flood,
no.
on top of the
We-
sediments
we-
deposited by the global flood. So they're not from before the global flood.
They
You
are.
have to calibrate your date to the time of the global flood, and we know that was less than
We started
5,000
as-
years.
We started
Go.
as agricultural 10,000 BC.
No.
We started farming
No,
10,000
no,
BC.
No, that's a funny
And
dating
we-
method. You
That
have to
is not funny,
calibrate.
Dave.
You have to calibrate your funny dating method to the time of the global flood. which was 5,000 years
so
ago or less.
science and history is wrong because the Bible says so.
No, science is what you can know. History is records that we have, and none of them go
Yes, and
back beyond the time of the global
we
flood.
have records.
There
We have
is,
found stone tools. We have found all these artifacts
which doesn't
showing.
have a date stamped on it. They don't have dates stamped on them.
And your Bible has a stamp. It says 2,000 years
Before Christ.
No, not
Before
before
Christ.
Christ.
BC.
No, not before Christ. No,
It's 2,000 years BC or more.
Christianity didn't become a thing until the 1st century.
It doesn't matter. Christianity started with Adam and Eve, with the seed of the woman.
The Bible didn't officially become the Bible until I want to say the 15th century.
No, the truth became the truth as soon as Adam and Eve sinned, and they were told about the provision of their sin, which was the seed of the woman, which is what Christianity is, the seed of the woman. That's Christ.
It's always the woman's fault.
Because only God can be your savior. Only God can crush the serpent's head. It says the seed of the woman. It says the seed of the woman will crush the serpent's head. Only God can crush the serpent's head. So that's when Christianity started.
No.
Christianity started with the seed of the woman as soon as Adam and Eve sinned. As soon as Adam and Eve sinned.
That's not right. Christianity did not start until Christ. Okay,
and Christ is what? Christ is Messiah.
Adam and Eve.
Christ is Messiah, which is the seed of the woman. The seed of the woman is Messiah. Messiah is the seed of the woman. That's Christ.
Christ did not pray to himself. He prayed to Yahweh. Okay.
Yahweh, no way.
Yeah, because Christ is inside of time and space. Because he's inside of time and space.
Again, you told me to forget the timeline. I'm reminding you that there is a timeline, and there's no way Adam and Eve could have perceived Christ, because that concept didn't exist.
Roland,
later.
Do you know what the seed of the woman is? Do you know what the seed of the woman is? The seed of the woman is Christ.
No, because guess what?
The seed of the woman is Christ. Because only Christ, only God can crush the serpent's head. No man of sin, no man born of a woman can crush the serpent's head. Only God can do that.
Okay, so what is the serpent's head?
The snake's head.
Okay, the snake being what?
The one that tempted Eve.
Okay, so you're basically saying that it's a penis?
No, you're thinking of perverted interpretation.
You said
you're thinking of a perverted interpretation.
Excuse me, you said the seed of the woman.
That's a perverted of the woman.
So the serpent's head is like, yeah, it happens with me all the time, man. I can't get it all in there.
No.
So
that has nothing to do with it.
No, wait a minute.
And if you want to interpret it that way,
excuse me, you posited the idea.
If you want to interpret it that way, Ronan, only the truth.
I'm not interpreting it.
Ronan, only the truth can control your serpent's head.
Look, I'm accepting your model, and you're saying that the seed, the woman,
and only the truth can control the serpent's head.
So the serpent's head would be what? That's why I'm saying if the seed is a woman, then it's got to be the penis.
No, the seed of the woman, which is Christ. Christ is the seed of the woman.
It wants to crush the serpent's head. So if I put my serpent head into a woman, it crushes it because I can't get it all in there. I've just said that. So basically, the whole analogy is between the spiritual realm and sex.
No, the only thing.
That's it.
The only thing that can control. The only thing that can control your sinful nature, Ronan. The only thing that can control.
No, that's what you're alluding to right now.
Listen, no, I didn't. You alluded to it, but the only thing. The only thing.
Okay.
The only thing that control.
What is the woman?
Control
the woman, right? the vagina.
Your
That's
nature. The only thing to
where do you
control that
where do you plant the seed? In the
is
ground.
the truth.
So woman is nature, and we want to keep
No,
planting
the
our seed.
woman's seed. The
Seed.
woman's seed. It said nothing about your seed.
Well, the seed is an egg in a woman. That's what it's called,
That
an egg.
that's the whole point. The whole point, Ronan, is that your seed is never going to make it. Your seed is never good enough. It's the woman's seed that is Christ,
Okay, so
not the human seed, not
saying
your
that we're
seed, not
screwing
man's seed,
Christ. We're
not sinful,
a woman
not
is now
sinful
Christ.
flesh,
A woman is
not
now
sinful
Christ, and I'm
flesh.
trying to have sex with Christ. Is that what you're saying?
No,
That
you're just trolling right now, Ronan.
no.
It's not
Using your
your
words,
seed. It's
you're
not your seed. It's the
using
woman's seed.
your words, not mine.
You're
Those
not
were
you're
your
not even
words.
paying attention.
Excuse me, sir. Those were your words, and I've got to follow your
You're
lead.
not even paying attention, Ronan.
How could I be not paying attention if I'm
You're
asking?
not even paying
What do you
attention.
mean?
It's the woman's
What do you
seed,
mean
which
by
is not your seed.
what do you mean by crushing the head?
That's the whole
You
point.
know, if I
The
tried to
whole
plow the
point,
ground,
Ronan, is that's not
plow the
your
ground with my
seed.
penis, it would get crushed. And nature is that way. Women crush my feelings all the time. But again, you're
Crushing the head of the serpent. Every evil,
saying a woman is Christ.
every imagination,
Oh, no,
every
you're saying a woman.
imagination,
No,
every imagination exalted above the knowledge of God.
excuse me. You're saying a woman is Christ, and everybody wants to
You're
get into
not
Christ.
listening, Ronan. Every imagination exalted above the knowledge of God is crushed. Every
Again,
lie,
I'm not.
every lie from the liar is crushed. The serpent is
Crushed.
the liar.
Okay, the
The serpent is the liar, and it's every lie is crushed. Every lie is crushed, Ronan.
Okay,
That's what's crushed, is every
no,
lie from the
no.
liar, from every liar.
I'm getting it.
Every lie from every liar is crushed.
No, I'm getting it via your
So
sexual analogy.
It's
That,
not your seed,
a
it's the
woman
seed
is.
of the woman.
I get it now. I get it. A woman is Christ, and I want to have sex with women. So in essence, I'm having sex with Christ. And he's crushing my head, to the point that I orgasm, and I have to try again. I have to keep trying.
Roland,
That's if
you're just being a troll. He's being a pathetic troll.
So Judaism is older than Christianity.
No, Christianity began with the seed of the woman, with Adam and
No.
Eve.
Christianity came from Judaism. Yes.
Well, it's yes and no, because Messiah
Was Jesus not a Jew?
Messiah is a part of Judaism.
Uh-huh. So that means Christianity
So it's
came
the seed
from
of,
Judaism.
no, Christianity branched off from Judaism because they believe in the seed of the woman that would crush every lie from every liar.
So yes, Christianity came from Judaism.
No, but the Messiah, Christ, is already a part of Judaism.
Yes, but he became he showed up. He showed up after Judaism was already a religion.
No buts. Messiah is a part of Judaism.
It's just true that Christianity came from Judaism, and then
Messiah is a part of Judaism.
So do you think they don't believe in the same God?
Christ is a part of Judaism. The seed of the woman is a part of Judaism.
Okay, yes, I got that. But Christianity came from Judaism.
No, it's just that the Judaism rejects Christ.
Christianity is one of the youngest religions. You realize that?
No, because you know what Christian is? Christian is Christ, right? You know what Christ is? Christ is Messiah, right? You know what Messiah is? Messiah is the seed of Eve, the seed of the woman.
Judaism has been around before.
No, listen to me, and listen to me good. Listen to me straight. Messiah Messiah is the seed of the woman is Messiah. And the seed of the woman is Adam and Eve. It goes back to Adam and Eve. So Christianity, teaching of Messiah began with Adam and Eve.
But Jesus
Teaching of
was
Christ,
born from a virgin.
teaching of Christ began with Adam and Eve.
But
Teaching of
Jesus was
Christ, teaching of Christ, Messiah began with Adam and Eve, the seed of the woman.
and Jesus.
Get that into your head. The teaching of
Yeah.
Christ began
Okay. I got your
with Adam and
stupidity.
Eve.
Calm down there, champ. Calm down. Now,
The teaching of Messiah Christ began with Adam and Eve.
Jesus was supposedly born from a virgin, right?
It has to be a virgin. It can't be by way of a man of sin. It cannot be the seed of man.
So
It cannot
Yahweh,
be the seed of man. It has to be by the seed of the woman.
So Yahweh had sex with a virgin, and then you get
the Creator.
Jesus.
The Creator created
No,
the last Adam.
It would be Yahweh.
Listen. If you want to learn, you have to listen. The Creator.
Yeah, but you're too stupid to teach.
Listen.
You're too stupid to teach when I've been stomping a mud hole in your ass about everything that you're saying. Listen. What are you, 5? Come on, let's actually have a conversation here. Quit being a child. And let me tell you, Yahweh had sex with a virgin, Virgin Mary had birth to Jesus.
Listen.
Myself.
Don't listen.
Okay, go on with your fairy tale story. Let's go. Come on.
It's not a fairy tale story.
It is a fairy tale story because there's stories that have the same gods that were born the same way as Jesus. So let's go.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
The seed of the woman is when God created Adam without sin. The last Adam. Are you going to listen?
Yahweh is a woman?
Are you going to listen?
I'm just trying to get it right. Is Yahweh a woman?
Listen. God created the last Adam like the first Adam without sin. Only the last Adam didn't sin. The last Adam has no sin. And that's the only possible covering, the only possible provision for us is with a perfect Adam. Not a perfect version, a perfect Adam. Christ is the seed of the woman, the perfect Adam to cover for our sin. Do you understand that?
But he's not related to Adam. He's related to Yahweh.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is, because Eve was taken out of Adam.
Yeah, by his rib.
No buts. Eve was taken.
Adam was a clay statue that was a golem spell.
Created first.
Which came from Judaism.
Adam was created first.
The rib of Adam became Eve. Got that?
God created Eve from Adam.
Yes,
so
Eve
is Adam. So Eve is Adam. So the provision covers Adam.
But how does that cover Jesus, which was born from Yahweh?
He is the seed of the woman. He is the last Adam without sin. That's the way he can die for Adam, because he is Adam without sin.
So
he can die for Adam because he is Adam without sin.
Hold on. The Virgin Mary that gave birth to Jesus, right?
The seed of the woman. Jesus is Christ. Christ is the seed of the woman. Christianity began with Adam and Eve. Christian teaching began with Adam and Eve. He is the seed of the woman.
Yes, but we're talking about Jesus, not Adam.
He is Adam, the second Adam, the last Adam.
How is he Adam when he was born from a virgin?
Because he is Adam without sin. His father is God, just like Adam's father is God. Adam's father is God. Jesus' father is God. So he's Adam without sin, because his father is God, just like Adam's father is God. Now you think the Bible is just teaching a whole bunch of fairy tale nonsense when it
Yes, it
actually
is.
makes all the sense in the world.
Because
The Bible is actually the only thing.
older.
It's the only thing that does make
Grandpa,
sense.
hold on.
It's the
Champ,
only
calm
thing
down,
that you'll ever learn in your lifetime that makes sense. It's the only thing that will ever make sense to you.
You know, yelling in the mic's not really helping you.
You're.
Just because you're getting louder doesn't help your
It's
argument.
the only thing that will ever make sense.
There are
And
stories.
you just don't want to listen to it. You just don't want to listen to what does make sense. It's the only thing.
Arguments.
It's the
you
only thing that will ever make sense in your lifetime.
Because you are a grown man screaming at a computer.
Because you don't shut up and listen.
Because I'm proving you wrong over and over again.
You did not prove anything.
So upset. Because I can tell you stories that are older than your religion that talk about a virgin giving birth to a god.
It's not older. It's not older.
It's not over. Oh,
it's
man.
It's not older.
You are a sad
You're
little
not
man.
Listening.
You're
not listening.
To you crying here. Why are you crying?
You're not listening.
You okay?
You're the one that's crying.
I'm not
crying.
You're
the one that's crying.
You're the one that sounds like a grown.
You're the one that's
grown
crying
child right
and
now.
objecting. It's not
screaming at the internet. I'm laughing because I keep proving you wrong, and it keeps making you upset.
You're unable to prove that Christianity doesn't go back to the time of Adam and Eve.
Because there was no Adam and Eve.
Christianity
doesn't go back to the Adam and Eve.
Began with Adam and Eve.
Christianity came from Judaism.
Began with Adam and Eve.
Judaism.
No, Judaism started with Moses. Judaism started with Moses.
Judaism is what started Christianity.
Started with Moses.
Hold on, calm down, child.
Started with Moses.
Judaism
started with Moses. Moses. Christian teaching starts with Adam and Eve.
No, it doesn't, you dumb
fuck.
Yes,
it does. The seed of the woman is Christ.
Man, you need to have better faith in Yahweh. Damn. Screaming like a child.
Oh, listen, and I will have to scream.
Well, quit being a child and quit saying stupid shit and me debunking you on it.
Interrupting and acting like a child.
I'm not interrupting you at all.
You don't want to learn anything.
You're the one saying stupid shit.
You don't want to learn anything. You're not.
Because your entire religion is taken from older religions.
It's not a religion. It's human history.
It's not human history. I've debunked you on that.
It's human history. It's not a religion.
It's human history.
It's reality. It's truth. It's truth. It's reality.
Magic is not real.
It's reality. It's not magic. It's your creation.
It is magic.
It's your creation. And if you listen, it's your recreation.
Where's your firmament?
It's your recreation.
Where's your firmament?
Change the subject. Change the
subject. Because that's also in your Bible. That's been
change the subject. That's semantics. Change the subject.
It's not semantics. It's out of your stupid little book.
Semantics. It's how you want to interpret the word. It's how you want to interpret the word. You want to interpret the word.
Just because history and science doesn't back up your stupid book doesn't mean anything.
You want to reinterpret everything so that it makes no sense at all. That's what you want to do. You want to reinterpret everything so it makes no sense at all.
I'm not reinterpreting anything. I'm just going off of what history and science says.
So you distort everything.
Just because you got whine and cry on the internet.
Because you don't want to believe the truth.
Because I do believe in the truth. I do believe in the truth. I believe what science and history tells me. Science and history has told me that your book is full of shit.
Science is what you can
Because
know, and I'm telling
there's
you what you can know.
there's no
I'm
talking
telling you
monkeys. There's
science.
no
I'm giving
talking
you
snake.
science.
You ain't giving me shit. You're
I'm
giving me
giving you
something that you don't
science.
understand, which has been
I'm giving
debunked
you
by
science.
several people now.
No, you were unable to prove anything. You were unable to say
Ronan,
anything. You're unable to
Ronan's
prove
proved you
anything.
wrong.
All you do is make
Ape has
assertions.
proved you wrong.
That's your claim.
I'm
That's
not
your
claiming
claim.
anything. I
That's your
just go off
claim.
of what science and history tells me, and science and history
It's
tells
your
me
baseless claim.
that your religion is full of shit, just like
It's not a
like all the other
religion.
ones
It's
are.
human history, known facts.
It's
It's
not
truth.
human history, you
It's
dumbass.
truth.
Dear
It's
Lord,
truth
did you
that you're
fail?
mocking.
Did you
You're
fail out of
mocking
school
truth.
at like third grade? How dumb are you?
You are mocking truth. You are
I'm not
mocking
mocking
science.
truth. You're
You
the
are
one that's
mocking
got this
science.
stupid
You are not
wannabe
mocking
history that
known
has been
facts.
proven
You're
wrong.
mocking known facts and truth, and you have nothing to say. You have nothing to say in your defense.
I have quite a bit to say, and I've been saying it, and you've been getting upset
Nonsense,
like a
interrupting
grown
and
child.
speaking nonsense, irrelevant nonsense. All you say is irrelevant nonsense.
What that I have knowledge of
See,
religions older than
because
yours that have
you said
same stories
Judaism
as
is
yours.
older. You said Judaism is older than Christianity when Judaism started with Moses and Christianity started with Adam and Eve.
Christianity didn't start with Adam and Eve.
Yes, it
The
did.
book
It
Christianity,
starts with
the
the
religion,
seed of the
started
woman.
around the 1st century.
Starts with the seed of the woman with Adam and
You,
Eve.
you forget that Judaism
You
and
forget that the seed
Christianity
of
are
the
the same
woman is
religion.
Christ. The seed of the
Just
woman is
Christianity
Christ.
decided to leave Judaism and became their own.
The seed of the woman is Christ.
Just like
Christ is with
just like
Adam
the
and Eve.
Quran. The Quran was also part of
The
Judaism, but
first
they
mention of
separated off from them.
the first mention of Christ was with Adam and Eve. As soon as they sinned, they were told about Christ who would crush the serpent's head.
Yes, that came from a fairy tale book.
No, it's not
That
a
doesn't
fairy
prove
tale.
history.
It's
That doesn't
truth.
prove history.
No, history. Jesus is a part of history.
Jesus
The
is not
seed of
part
the
of history.
woman. The seed of the woman is history. It's his story.
There
His
was never
story is history.
there
History
was
is
never
his
a
story.
Jesus.
History is the story of Messiah, the story of Christ, from Adam and Eve to today. That's all you can do. That's all you can do is laugh at it. That's all you can do is laugh at the truth, laugh at science, laugh at
No,
known
I'm
facts.
not laughing at science. I'm laughing at your
You're
stupidity
laughing
because
at known
I
facts.
have science and history that back me up.
Known historical fact. Known fact. You despise science. You despise knowledge. You
No,
despise truth.
you despise science and knowledge because science and knowledge does not back up your claims.
I just gave you science and knowledge.
You haven't given me shit. You've given me stuff that you tried to prove as yours, but history and science have said no. That's not how it works.
I gave you history and science.
No, you haven't. You haven't given me anything. You gave me your
Yes,
fairy
I
tale book
did.
that doesn't back you
No, it's
up.
not a fairy
If you,
tale book.
yes, it
It's
is. It is a
truth.
fairy tale book,
It is
just like all
truth
the
that
other
only
religions are mythologies.
it's truth that only your maker can remake you again. Nobody else can. It's truth that only he can cover for you himself. No man of sin
So,
can. No man of sin
so,
can.
so that claim right there, where your maker can only remake you, sounds more like a Buddhist thought of reincarnation.
No.
Yes,
It's called the resurrection. It's called the
yes,
resurrection.
it's called resurrecting
Resurrection
into a
is
new
the
life.
central point of Christian
That is
teaching.
Buddhism.
No, it's the central point of Christian teaching is the resurrection. Only your maker can remake you. Nobody else can.